Special guest in studio with us right now, Janet Day from Blank Children's Hospital, as we are going to be talking safe toys, especially this time of year. A lot of people coming over to visit, a lot of kids coming over to various households, and you need to be safe.
'Tis the season, so it's time to start talking safe toys. There are about 3 billion toys sold in the United States every year.
Wow.
About half of those.
They're all in my house.
Yeah. About half of those during the holiday season. So good time to be talking.
All right, what are we looking for then, just to make sure a toy is safe?
So there are a variety of things that we can be thinking about. One of the first things that comes to my mind is that we want to be mindful of a choking hazard. So a toy that is a small part in and of itself, like a bouncy ball, a marble, those really aren't appropriate for our younger kids. Toys that maybe have small parts as part of them. So maybe a Barbie doll with teeny tiny little shoes. Exactly.
Or accessories.
And then another part that could potentially cause a choking hazard would be, do you have a toy that has a piece that could break off? Maybe the toy in and of itself isn't a choking hazard, but
the parts that could break off are. Now,
exactly.
You brought over some things here that are really neat. I'm going to lay these out here so you can see what these are. Explain those tools, basically.
Exactly. So these are called small parts testers. And basically, if you can fit something inside of that little container, it means that it could potentially be a choking hazard for a young child. So you have a little packing peanut inside of that one. These are magnets. We can talk about magnets in a little bit. These are really hazardous as far as ingestion goes, because when they get down inside of the tummy, they can come together like that and cause some serious issues. But if you take one down in, and that could easily go down the throat. If you don't have a small parts tester laying around, which most of us don't.
Okay, because this one has two different sizes too. It has the one you just dropped it in there, and then some even smaller ones, and this one even fits in the little tiny one too, so that's even worse.
But if we don't have one of those at home,
use a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll.
Okay.
That's a little bit bigger around than the small parts tester.
but better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
And for whatever reason, if kids find small things, it just naturally, boom, in the mouth.
They put them right in the mouth. Kids feel out their world with their mouths. They just do. So everything goes in the mouth.
So something.
And how young of a child are we talking here?
I would say about 3 and younger. We need to be really mindful of stuff going in the mouth. And even some older kids are still kind of taste testing things.
Speaking of taste testing, those look very tasty there, those crayons. Anything there you have to worry about?
Absolutely. So I have these out here because, you know, I have a 2-year-old. She uses crayons. She colors. Just be mindful when they are playing with those things, because they do break apart. They can easily go in the mouth. And if you actually read on here,
are they hazardous to the system?
You know, I'm not sure that they're necessarily hazardous to the system. I think they're non-toxic. It would be more of a choking issue. But if you do read on here, there is even a label that says not for use in ages 0 to 3.
Oh, wow.
So if you are using things like that, supervision is key. Absolutely.
What else did you bring in today?
I have all sorts of stuff, and so I just have this as a way to show you that when you do buy toys off of the shelf, the best way to know that it's appropriate for your child and your child's age is to actually look.
Here, tip that up a little bit more so we get the camera over here.
See that? Actually look at the toy box, and it's going to tell you this is appropriate for a child that's 12 months and older. You know, like this one showed the 0 to 3. Don't use. Toys new off the shelf do have those labels.
Okay, so something to look out for.
Exactly.
And you also have some games you brought in with you today. Is that all about pieces as well?
Pieces, exactly. So Legos, if you have ever stepped on a Lego, you know that's...
Yeah, and we learned here they have Lego slippers for parents now, too, so you can get those. So you don't...
But a lot of games these days, they all have little parts.
Little parts, exactly. So if the game has a little part, it's for the older children.
So if you're buying something for a family member or a friend, there's other things you want to think about, and that includes how you're packaging.
Exactly. So this little bag is just full of packing peanuts and bubble wrap. If you have something shipped to your home, or if you're shipping something to somebody else's home, it's important to know that this bubble wrap, while it's fun and enjoyable,
and it is,
if a young child gets a hold, oh, look at all those packing peanuts stuck to it. If a young child gets a hold of this, it can easily be over the face. This is kind of a strangulation and choking hazard in and of itself. But then again, these little packing peanuts can go right down Boop, and they look tasty.
They look like cheesy poops.
Yep, they look tasty.
I mean, we even almost ate them this morning.
They don't taste very good,
No.
but they look tasty. Another concern that we have when we're talking about toys is strangulation. And so moving past choking, we're thinking strangulation. And so this is just a fun little necklace. Necklaces really aren't appropriate for the younger child because if they're around the neck, they can get caught on something and cause strangulation. There are toys out there that actually have strings attached to them. They're pull toys and things like that. Yeah, that has a little bit of a string. If a string on a toy is longer than 7 inches, it is what we consider kind of a dangerous thing because longer than 7 inches means it could easily get around the neck.
Oh, okay.
How about the helmet that you brought in today?
So the helmet, another kind of injury that we often see as it relates to toys is a fall injury. And so it's from the bicycle, it's from the rollerblades, the skateboards, and especially those scooters those little non-motorized scooters.
The razor type scooters.
Yes, they're really low profile. They kind of have the illusion that they're not dangerous.
Very high center of gravity.
Exactly. Yep. The center of gravity is weird, and there are a lot of spills from those. And so, if you are going to buy any type of wheel toy, so your bike or your scooter, whatever,
Or your hoverboard. Yes.
yeah,
Jackie.
you know what? I think that works too for a helmet. Make sure that you're buying the helmet that actually goes along. Those two things should be a pair.
All right. So if people want to get more information about safety and toys on that, do you guys have a website we can go to and visit?
You know, probably the best website to visit is the Consumer Product Safety Commission website. They have tons of information about toy safety and safekids.org as well.
Wonderful.
Kids.org.
Well,
That's
thank
it.
you so much.
Thank you so very
Thanks
much.
for being here.
Great
Have a great
ideas.
day.